everybody, and welcome to today's episode. Today we are back in Lakeland, Florida, and we are at FUN. FUN is an annual event that they have every year in April, and it showcases different military and civilian planes. It is a great event to come to if you're ever here in the beginning of April. I definitely highly recommend coming to FUN. So the actual event is actually across on the other side of the runway from us. We are actually at a private hangar, which is a great friend of ours who invites us to come out here every year. So today we're not actually going to see the festivities across the way, but we're going to see the air show, which is absolutely fabulous. And of course, it's another windy Florida day, but that's okay. We're still going to have fun today and see these amazing planes and their demonstrations that they do, and the amazing show by the Thunderbirds. I'm very excited to see them. Last year we got to see the Blue Angels, so it'll be exciting to see a new demonstration from our amazing military. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode as we learn some fun facts about aviation. I'm gonna go ahead and say, don't really know much, don't have a lot of research, but it should be fun to see all these amazing pilots and what they showcase for us today. So I hope you guys enjoy, and thanks again for watching. So as I pan across to the other side of the runway, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about FUN and the organization that runs it. So FUN started back in 1974, and it has grown into Florida's largest annual convention of its type in aviation. Over the years, it has grown to where almost 200,000 visitors come for the week to see all the events that are going on here during this expo. So it's not just an air show, which is what you're going to see today, but there's so much more. There's a trade show, there's workshops, there's speeches that you can go to with different pilots, there's STEM programs for kids, there's a fun zone for the kids, there's planes over there that you can see from military to civilian. It's absolutely amazing what this organization has created. So the organization that has created this is the Sun and Fun Fly-In. They're a nonprofit organization, and all the proceeds that they make from this weekend and from other events go towards some of the programs that they turn back into aviation. So they have STEM related programs that they do. They have outreach, they have scholarships, they have summer camps. It really is amazing some of the stuff that they do. There's a museum across the way that you can go to. There's so many things that this organization has done, which is this one event. And within my research of everything that I've kind of learned from getting prepared for this, and the biggest part was preparing for the Thunderbirds and their demonstration that they're going to do for us. It kind of all came back together with this mission statement that Sun and Fun has, and that is preserve and enhance the future of flight through world-class events, inspiring and educating people of all ages. And when we get to the Thunderbirds and I talk about one of the pilots, y'all are going to completely understand how that mission statement is so true to this event. So when we look back at the history of aviation, first place most people start is December 17th, 1903 with the Wright brothers when they took their first flight. But when we look back at the history of air shows, our first one is going to be in August of 1909 in France. Now this week-long spectacular brought in 500,000 spectators. They were there to see altitude competitions, endurance races, some stunt flying, speed competitions. There was a lot going on. There was grandstands and restaurants and barbershops, and I mean there was just so much going on that people were so drawn to this event that it continued to grow. So by January of 1910, we have our first American air show, which was in Los Angeles. Now, it only drew in 175,000 people, but that show turned into one in New York, into one in Boston, and it just kept growing to what we have today. They estimate that 15 to 18 million people go to an air show annually in the United States. So Sun and Fun takes place at Lakeland Airport, and also home to the airport is an Amazon facility. So right now, while we have a break in between the show, they actually have to schedule in time for the Amazon planes to take off. And so right now it's kind of funny because you see we have this Amazon plane, but also over here we have a helicopter that's taking off as well. And then I'm gonna try to show you guys this. I don't know if you'll be able to see it because he's kind of far away, but back here behind the Amazon plane, you can actually see there's an F-18 fighter that's about to take off. He's about right there. So you have an Amazon cargo plane, you have a military helicopter, and an F-18 all at one time. So the biggest draw to the air shows are the death-defying stunts, like this F-18 that we see here. And the military part of the air shows really grew after World War I. So the pilots, they were kind of bored. And so what they did is they would go to any event that was going on near their base. And if it was a county fair or a 4th of July celebration, they would go and they would showcase their skills, their stunts. And that's kind of still what we see now. I think one of my absolute favorite parts of going to an air show is the heritage flights they do. It's probably the history nerd inside of me that loves that part of it so much, but I just absolutely love seeing, whether it's a World War II, a Korean War, Vietnam War, whatever it is, just, one of the older planes that's up there, and it's flying with these new modern fighters that we have today. And it's just so cool to see the past and the future together in one flight. Flying out of Nellis Air Force Base, we have the Thunderbirds. They were officially activated on June 1st, 1953. Their first aircraft was a straight-wing F-84G Thunderjet. It was a combat fighter bomber that saw action during the Korean War. So the squadron that we see today is 4 F-16C fighter Falcons, along with 2 F-16D two-seater trainers. There are 8 pilots, 6 of them being the demonstration pilots. You have 4 supporting officers, along with 3 civilians, and then over 130 enlisted support personnel that helps this group do these demonstrations all over the world. So the history nerd inside of me really loves where their name comes from. So the Thunderbird is a legendary creature. It's from North American indigenous people culture. You see them on the top of totem poles. It's a supernatural being that symbolizes power and strength. And that's exactly what you see in these pilots, is they're demonstrating power and strength of the U.S. Air Force. So I have 2 awesome stories to tell you guys today about 2 of the pilots flying with the Thunderbirds today. So the first one is about Major Lauren Threat Slickton. I love her nickname, by the way. Anyways, so Lauren, at a young age of 8 years old, was inspired by astronauts that came to her school that revealed that they were former fighter pilots. So when Lauren went home, she told her mom, "I'm going to be a fighter pilot one day." And Lauren is living proof that if you set out a dream, and you chase after that dream, you can do whatever you want to do. And she did exactly that. She became a fighter pilot in one of the most recognized demonstration groups out there. And it's such an inspiring thing to young girls and young boys out there, that no matter what you set your heart to, that you can go out, you can chase that dream, and you can accomplish it. Our second story is with Major Zane Taylor in the number 4 plane today. And he's a native to Orlando. So Sun and Fun to him is where he would go as a young child. And he grew his love of aviation right here at Sun and Fun. He said he remembered at a young age of coming here and watching the Thunderbirds perform. And look at him now. He is performing as a pilot for the Thunderbirds. It just really shows that Sun and Fun's mission to educate and inspire is there. They are doing that exact thing. And I remember last year when I was watching the Blue Angels, they had a similar story where a pilot for them had also been here to Sun and Fun and had grown in that love of aviation and that desire to be a pilot just from this event alone. So like I said, that mission, it's rooted deep in this community of aviation, and it shows through and through with these pilots that are here today. Well guys, the sun is setting, it's getting windier out here, and mighty cold. And normally we would stay and watch the fireworks and the drone show, which I had planned for you guys, but I'm a Florida girl and I'm cold and I'm ready to go home. So I'm gonna say goodnight to you guys instead. But I want to stop and say thank you so much for joining me today and for watching this little video. I really hope that you guys learned, even if it was one small little fact. I hope you learned something. Also, please do not forget to like the video, to subscribe, and to share. Y'all know my mission is to spread my love of history with as many people as possible. So if you guys can help with one little share, I would greatly appreciate that. And I don't want you guys to forget, when you go out in this little whimsical world of ours, please do not forget to explore, to have fun, and to learn some.